Yo, what's going on, guys? So I actually got one of my students, Patrick, pulled up to my apartment. We're gonna do a little interview session about his journey with Airbnb and since starting with me in the coaching program. So Patrick, introduce yourself. Like, how old are you? What do you currently do for a living? And also tell them how did you even come across? Like, how did we connect?
Cool. Yeah, so my name is Patrick. I'm an accountant by profession. I'm 30 years old, and I actually just met Danish at the gym one day, and he was telling me about Airbnb arbitrage. I had no idea what that was. And once he was like, he had about 20 properties at that time. He might have more or less now, but once he kind of like, I would ask him about his business, and we would go over his numbers. It kind of piqued my interest, and then I'd start bothering him about it, like, hey,
Yeah.
how can I work with you? Like, I wanna learn more about this
Awesome.
business.
So yeah, so we literally met a few months ago. You didn't know me like 6 months ago.
No,
You didn't know who I was.
I knew.
We connected through like a mutual friend, kind of in
Mhm.
the gym. But let's talk about a little bit about the journey of Airbnb, right? You're of course an accountant by profession, so he has a professional job, right? Um, I guess what made you even want to start something on the side? Like you're already an accountant.
Right.
Why did you be like, dude, I need to do something else also?
I just gotta have multiple streams of income, man. Like, I mean, I was actually getting out of the restaurant business as well, but and it wasn't like after a while, it wasn't doing too well, and I wanted to find my next thing as well. And like, it's crazy how the universe works. I
Yeah.
ran into Danish at the gym and then talked to him a couple of times, and he was showing me a business that made sense.
Awesome. So I mean, so we met a few months ago, and then you got started with me in the coaching program. I guess why did you reach out to me about Airbnb arbitrage versus being like, dude, let me just go on YouTube, let me watch a bunch of videos, and let me try myself.
Right. At first, I'm not gonna lie, your content's kind of fire. I've been like following your content after I met you, and then I was like, dang, he really is making moves, and I want to like kind of be more flexible in my lifestyle as well. So yeah, like it just made sense to
For
try to
sure.
learn about it. And you said like versus trying to do it myself, I think it's a lot better to have someone as a mentor who already knows the game, who can kind of help you cut out some of the mistakes that you would make if you're doing it yourself and didn't know anything.
For sure, 100%. So you could always get free information out there, but paying a coach or mentor for anything you want to do is just like a shortcut, basically. So you guys started with me 3 months ago. Tell them a little bit about like where you're at right now with your journey, how many properties you're at, and we'll also eventually go into like a little bit of the numbers in your calendar. But tell them a little bit like where you're at so far.
Yeah, so I've been working with Diners for 3 months, as we as we keep saying, and basically we were able to lock in my first property within the first month
Month, yeah.
after like kind of going through the whole process and all that stuff. And I just been kind of killing it. The last 2 months I'm booked out. What most of the there's probably 4 or 5 days out of each month that isn't booked out already, and that's why I'm already looking for my second property.
So when you started, we got your first deal within like the first month. Before this, how much did you actually know about Airbnb arbitrage before you got
I don't
started
know
with me?
anything about Airbnb arbitrage
Did you
at
even
all.
know what Airbnb arbitrage was?
No.
Okay, so 3 months he didn't even know what it was. Now he got his first property a month in working with me. Um, when you started your first property, were you scared if you were gonna get booked out?
Yeah, that was like one of my. That's the biggest fear. I'm like
Yeah.
bothering Danish every 2 seconds. I don't know about this. I don't know. Like he was really reassuring, and he was kind of just giving me straight numbers to my face. That's like what makes sense. Like people lie,
Yeah.
like numbers don't. So then I just kind of took a leap of faith. We had a great game plan, especially with the whole. You want to leverage business credit so that you don't even have to use your own capital at first with 0% interest. Financing, and we took a
Yeah.
chance.
So
And here we are.
you got your first property. You live where in Florida, right?
Yeah, Fort Lauderdale,
Where's your first property in?
Texas, and Dallas.
So he got his first property in Dallas, Texas. When you launched your first property, did you go out there?
No, and that's what made it scary too, because it's not even where we are.
It's like virtual.
Yeah, we had to learn how to put everything in place and see the.
But how hard was the whole process, really?
It wasn't that hard. I mean, there's a learning curve with anything that you
Yeah.
don't know. There's always going to be a learning curve, and in business, there's always going to be challenges, but you
Yeah.
just have to have a problem-solving attitude.
So you were making money on Airbnb before ever actually visiting a property,
Yes.
basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fire. So you're of course an accountant. You have a professional job. Now you got one property. Realistically, now that you have one property, how many hours per week is this business even taking you? Do you think?
Probably less than 5 hours a week.
Yeah, for sure less than
Yeah,
five.
yeah. For sure less than 5.
So you think people that actually work a professional job could do this?
For sure.
Yeah. So he's got one property. I guess what's your goal in the next 90 days, 3 months from now? That you already have your first property. You kind of know how the business works.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you've had challenges in your first property?
Oh, for sure, dude. I've made a couple of mistakes. There's been times where I had to reach out to Danish. What are you doing this? Why is this guy doing this? It's mostly like trouble guess or just some like dot your I's and cross your T's. Some things I may have forgotten along the way or just didn't know yet. And like I said, there's always going to be challenges. You just have to have a problem solving mentality.
Yeah. But now that you've got your first property, you kind of learned how the systems work, how you're getting bookings, how to kind of deal with guests. Do you feel a lot more confident going into like your next deal?
For sure. And I think like the more we get like our reps in, so to speak, like the easier and more confident I'm gonna keep getting at this.
100%. So let's actually show them pull up your phone. Let's show them his real calendar, right?
So I started really in December. It was at the end of
So now we're in February.
So this is what it looked like in December. There's only like less than 7 days that weren't booked in December, and then January we have pretty much almost the whole month booked out again. There's like another 5 days that weren't booked in January. Now we're in February. It was a little bit slower, but we're still like less than 7 days that haven't been booked. And
mind you, these are the slow ones.
Yeah, and it's not even my peak season yet, where business is going to be booming. Then in March, it's not even March yet, and I'm already booked out for almost half of March. So we're gonna see how it keeps going.
So you already booked half of March, and you've already made more than what your rent costs.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so he's already in profit with half the month booked. So this shows to you guys that like, look, it's a real person. Didn't know me 3 months ago. He has a real property sitting in my apartment. It's a real business, right? Like it's possible. It does have challenges like any other business does, but tell them a little bit about like so far your experience. What have you seen as like pros about this business? Like what do you see like is like, okay, I could keep doing this, it's actually worth it. And then also tell them a little bit about like the cons of starting a business like this.
Well, I mean the let me start with the pros. The best feeling is waking up to money, getting bookings and money deposited, and it feels like
you're not even working for it.
Yeah, no, it's passive. It's pretty cool. I mean, obviously I manage it to a degree.
Yeah.
But that's definitely the best feeling. And then also I just personally I like to learn about new businesses and stuff like that, concepts that actually work. Now, as far as the cons, I mean, you're in the hospitality business. You're gonna deal with guests who are cankers. Guests who suck. Like, you're gonna have guests. You're gonna have guests who like are not good guests. You're gonna have guests who, no matter what you do, they're always gonna have a problem, and they're always gonna be complaining about something, and that's just part of the game.
Yeah. So it's like any other business. You're having some pros. You got some cons. Do you see yourself making at least $10K a month or more in this business in the next 3 months?
That's a great. In the next 3 months, that would be lit. I could see it. It's definitely feasible. We might get the next property. I'm hoping within the next month, maybe within the next few weeks, because we're looking at a few right now, but we want to make sure it makes sense.
Yeah. So, I guess tell them a little bit about working with me. How's your experience been so far for the last 3 months working with me directly one-on-one? And if someone's going to try to get into a business like this, do you feel like they should just go use all the free information out there? Or they should actually have a coach that like is working with them one-on-one?
I think it's always better to work with a coach. It's better to work with someone who's going to help you minimize the mistakes that you're going to make if you're to be doing something on your own. Working with Danish, this is the guy right here, man. Like he's definitely very on point. He's very communicative, and as a business owner, like being an accountant myself, like sometimes I might not be able to. This is what I tell my clients, like I might not be able to respond to you like right on the spot, but I'm always gonna get back to you, and that's kind of been my experience with Danish. Like he's always there to answer any of my questions, and just if I need to look at something with him, we'll jump on a call and go over it together.
For sure. So he's got first property. He's gonna be moving on to over once he's doing at least $20K a month on Airbnb. We're gonna do a part 2 interview.
That'd be crazy.
But someone that's looking to get into this industry, people always the biggest thing I tell people is like the reason why people fail is not because they try something. They usually fail because they don't even try to start.
Mm-hmm.
What's some advice that you give someone that's maybe thinking about doing this, but they're still like, is it going to work out? What if I don't succeed? What if I have failures?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of advice would you give?
I think the best advice is just knowing the market that you're going into. You want to make sure that before going into a deal, that like obviously there's going to be risk attached to it. Obviously there's going to be like unknown factors, but if the numbers make sense, then why not go for it? Like you want to make sure you know the market, why people go there, why it would get booked out, and the deal itself. Does this property look like a good property? Would people book this property?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is the rent too high in this area?
100%. Yeah. So you guys heard it from the guy. He's got his first property in 3 months. In his first month, actually, he's going to be scaling to more properties. So if you guys want to actually learn how to do this, I've been doing it for the last 3 years. I've taught dozens of people on how to do it. Make sure that you guys click the link or reach out to me if you guys have questions. And if you guys have questions for him, I'll probably link his Instagram in the description. So you guys also could reach out to him. But appreciate you having me on, bro.
Hey,
yes, sir.
Easy,
Let's get it.